Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, and for our first guest today we have Michelle Richardson, a lymphologist, and today she's here talking to us about the 4 ways to be more energetic. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
So can you tell us, how can we build our energy levels?
I have many people who come to see me who ask, how can I create energy? And I ask them next is, do you know what it is? People go, no. Well, then if you don't know what it is, how are you going to create it? And energy is all around us, okay? It's in the air, which means oxygen, right? By deep breathing. Now, everyone knows that we need oxygen to live, yeah? It's common knowledge, right? So we need to breathe deeper. And they go, I thought I did breathe deeper. I said, well, can you show me how you breathe? And they normally sit like this. And they go, okay, yeah, I can't hear you. And I go, can you stand up or sit up straighter? Ah, now you're opening your chest. And where does the oxygen have to go to? Oh, I don't know. In the bottom of your lungs. So we got to be up straight to open up our airway and our lungs and breathe into our armpits. I'm Pilates trained, so I do know a bit about how to get oxygen into the body. And then I said, and most people can't even breathe out for 2 seconds. So people at home, if they want to create just one, there's 4, remember, if they want to create one way is to breathe oxygen. So deep breathing, which is into the nose, close your mouth. Right, okay, you ready? Up nice and tall. Open up the lungs. Breathe in through your nose. Close your mouth. Open your mouth like fogging a mirror. Just by doing that, what are we doing? Increasing our heart rate, which is creating oxygen flow, which is red blood cells around your body to get rid of waste and toxins that have accumulated to stop the energy in our body as well. It doesn't matter if it's late or morning or overcast. I must say you mustn't go out in the hot sun, right? Because that doesn't make us feel good. But in the early morning, just go out and make you feel good, doesn't it? And it creates energy. Okay, and that's such a simple technique, right? And that will enhance healing. And what do we all want? Energy to create healing. Yeah, which means less pain, right? Less illness. Maybe not being diagnosed with a disease, I don't know. But anything is possible when you learn to breathe.
Could you give us some examples of how this has worked, for some success stories for people, or how it can work for people?
I guess there's a lot of women out there who really struggle because they're carrying a lot of weight, right? And just carrying, you think you're carrying an extra 5 to 10 to 20 or maybe 50 kilos, that's a lot of stress. So you tend to close down, your abdominals tend to crunch in, your lungs close in. And I have women who come and just, I make them feel good. It's not about finding a fix for them or anything like that, because they can fix themselves by doing a few simple tips. One is oxygen, I just shared with you, and by doing this regularly, right, they start to feel better. That's amazing, and with that, they lose weight, they feel better about themselves, and happy days, and so many and it's a simple technique as well. So lots of stories. What's another one? A young lady came to me and she was in pain, and with hip and knee, and because I am also Pilates trained, I worked out her posture was incorrect. And because we get in habits and we walk to compensate for that pain, we're actually doing more damage. So then what do? Close up into our lungs and we sit forward. We don't want to get up and walk, and that's a no-no. We actually have to get up straight and walk so we get oxygen, and then the oxygen can take away the waste that's built up around the, say, sore knee or sore hip, to replace it with oxygen so the body starts to repair.
And as you were saying earlier, with the 4 ways of doing that, then the other way is...
Well, the other ways was bouncing, massage, and creating energy. And they're all related by bouncing. And we suggest people that they get on a trampoline. And that activates the lymphatic system, which starts in the calf muscle, right? Which then gets all your systems activating at once. Then you start to breathe because you need to breathe oxygen to bounce up and down, and it's just a great feeling. And the fourth one actually is massage. Now this is a very interesting topic because people don't often know, well, what is massage or how do you create energy through massage? Well, it's a very light touch. Okay, and they've done lots of research throughout the decades about how the energy from one person's hand to another person's hand or body creates electric shock. You've been around people and you get, oh, you're shocked, right? Because we are all energy. You know, you've been in a room with someone or a group of people and you feel amazing. So that's how energy creates the body. So 4 ways to activate the body is oxygen, deep breathing. Like I said, breathe into the bottom, breathe into your nose and breathe out like fogging a mirror. Second one is rebounding or movement, jumping up and down. Third one is massage, stroking the body. Just, you know, when you've got elderly parents or anyone who just wants to feel good, what do? Massage their back. Give them a stroke down the arm, right? That's moving out the toxins that are making us feel bad, yeah? And the fourth one is energy, which is in us anyway, right? The frequency of the cells, which vibrate through everyone that we know, like I just explained before, is when you're in the room with someone, you feel good. Follow the 4 steps of activating the lymphatic system, and you know what? That's hardly spoken of. If you're in surgery or top positions, they'll know what it is, right?
Thank you so much, Michelle. And what would you say would be your absolute top tip for our viewers to take with them today?
To stand up tall and breathe deeply. That creates the energy inside you, vibrates the cells. To activate all the systems, your blood system, your nervous system, it calms you down. Just to breathe. I guarantee you'll feel different the minute you go back or walk back into that room or back into that meeting, whatever situation you're in.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And for more information on Michelle Richardson and 4 ways to be more energetic, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. We'll see you after the break. After the break, health coach and author Kaveri Sequeira is talking about the importance of eating seasonally. So stay tuned. Welcome back, and next we have Kaveri Sequeira, certified health coach and author, and today she's talking about eating seasonally. So Kaveri, welcome back.
Thank you, Linda. Great to be back.
And seasonal eating today. So why do we eat seasonally? Why should we eat seasonally?
Yes, Linda. So we have different seasons in nature. And if you look at nature and how nature works and how animals in nature works, we will get a good indication of how they eat and how their eating habits change with the different seasons as well. Like if you look at winter, or rather autumn, you would see like squirrels moving around collecting all the nuts and anything that's available, because they're actually about to go into dormancy, because in winter there is nothing. They recognize that that's happening. So that's a good behavior of a species that we can look at. In spring, there's new There's new beginnings. There's a lot of leafy green vegetables after a really cold, hard winter, and there's a lot of leafy green vegetables, a lot of plants and animals. They're all moving around because they can tell that it's in time for new beginnings. In summer, there's a lot of in summer there's a lot of summer berries and even more like plants and vegetables, and it's great. In autumn, you have a lot of fruit and a lot of vegetables available. I'm talking about the African seasons now, and that's how we evolve. That's where we evolved, and that was representative of what nature provided at that time, and we ate like that as a species. But now we don't eat like that because for the simple fact, in the modern world, we have everything available to us at all times, and that means that we're not entirely sure what to eat when. It's more of a convenience thing. For example, apple season in Australia is in summer, but apples are available right through the year. Now, whilst that's really awesome and that's really convenient, nature would have enforced that we didn't have apples for at least 9 months of the year. But we're not eating seasonally, and that causes a imbalance in the way we live, and it adversely impacts our health. And that's why it's important to know about what those seasons are, how to eat seasonally, and how to align more to how things are in nature.
So, Kaveri, what happens if we don't eat seasonally then?
So we're basically not giving, for example, our pancreas work really hard to process sugar that we eat. Now, if you're not eating seasonally, we're basically not giving our pancreas a break from anything at all. So there are certain times in the year in nature, and I understand that there's different seasons in different countries in different parts of the world. My suggestion is try to eat what's locally available at that time and seasonally to your local area. Having said that, there are certain things that are like fruit actually that we recommend you take a break from. In a year, because in nature would have enforced it. Winter would have there would have been no fruit available. Naturally, we would have not eaten fruit. So the fact that we eat fruit right through the year is actually, even fruit, even though it's good for you, it's not seasonal eating. And it's actually, when you give your body a break from even natural sugars, that helps your pancreas get a break, and that helps sort of, with your insulin levels and things like that. So there are different things that you can do to adapt, to what is local in your area. But that's just one example of, what happens when you don't do that. You're not giving your body a break to heal because you're eating the same food week in and week out. And plus, you're not getting enough variety in your food, and that causes a bit of problem as well, because as you're aware, there's 6 different types of hungers, and variety hunger is one of them. And eating seasonally helps you get that variety as well, and get your body to have all the nutrients from varied sources. So that's the benefits. And if you don't do that, then you're missing out.
And Kaveri, then what would be your best advice for our viewers to take away with them today?
Absolutely. So the best advice I'd have is, look at your local seasons, get familiar with what your local fruit and vegetables are in season at that time of the year. Eat that, because you don't want to be eating an apple that's been imported from California 6 months ago, because it's their apple season. You want to be eating apples when it's your apple season. So go and get curious about that and discover it. You might find a new fruit or vegetable that you've never eaten before, and you might actually like it. So that's my biggest top tip on this. My other tip is to give even things like fruit a break, because our body has 2 types of energy sources. One is sugar and one is fat. And sugar basically is something that you can use up immediately, and your body first goes to that. But if you took a break from that sugar, even natural sugars, you would go into a fat burning mode, which actually helps a lot with weight loss. I also recommend that you take a break from things like grain and dairy, because they cause a lot of intolerances and allergies. So if you are eating them, take a break from that. It'll actually help your body heal and get better.
Thanks so much, Kaveri.
Pleasure.
And for more information on Kaveri and seasonal eating, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and we'll go to break and see you back after the break with our next guest. Stay tuned. After the break, holistic health coach Steve Hall is talking about Know Yourself. Next we have Steve Hall, our holistic change coach, and he's back with us today talking about knowing yourself. So Steve, why is that important to know yourself?
Thanks, Linda. It's a great question, and I've delved into this a lot over the last couple of years. And why it's important for us to know ourselves is we believe we know ourselves as we go through life. And our beliefs are something that we trust and rely on, so we really think we know ourselves. And what I've learned that really surprised myself, what I needed to find out as well, because it was such a game changer in my life, is there's so much about myself that is in my unconscious or your subconscious that I had no idea about whatsoever, which influenced what I did, it influenced the results I was getting, it influenced how I was feeling about life, whether I was happy, whether I felt like I was in control, whether I felt like I was doing what I wanted to do in life. All these things I never really considered at a deep level. And so knowing myself was so important to me. I think it was Socrates said it originally, know thyself. And it's been mentioned all through history by philosophers up until now, because it is so important that we truly understand what's going on in our subconscious and our conscious, and that they align and take us to where we want to go.
So what does it actually mean then? What does knowing yourself mean?
Yeah, well, this is even deeper. Because what does that look like? Sometimes we think we know ourselves, but what we're understanding is what we believe is true about ourselves, and quite often it's just what we've gotten used to. It's our habit of knowing ourselves. It's what everyone else tells us we're like as well. And in life we can spend a lot of time and energy wondering and worrying what other people think of us. And we try and shape our life in a way that people won't do that. And so sometimes we even end up trying to hide. I think it was Thoreau said that a vast majority of people live their life in quiet desperation because they're never really knowing themselves. You know, they're living lives according to other people and they're not happy. And it's so important that we can dig down to truly understand who we are, you know, and what really lights us up, what brings out the best in us, and what are we here for? You know, what's our purpose? A lot of the time we can get hung up living other people's lives and thinking that's our purpose. But when you really know yourself, you understand why you're here and what you've got to do, which is a whole different feeling.
I suppose we have lots of spoken about now about heart-mind connection. So that brings us more into our feeling space.
Very, very much. And that's when you start feeling that you're getting close to understanding more about yourself. That's when you start wondering about your feelings and your emotions, because here's the good thing about our feelings and our emotions is they're like a warning, or not really a warning system, but a signal system to us. They tell us when we're not happy, when we're not aligned, when we're not living according to our purpose or understanding ourselves. They show up in our feelings. You know, if you're not happy, Linda, if you're not feeling fulfilled, if you're feeling overwhelmed, and all these things that plague us a lot through our lives, these are all our emotions telling us. They're saying, hey, you're not happy. You're not really aligned. You're not digging into who you really are. So take a look, learn to understand who we are, and then take some action to change. And really, when you understand who you are and what core values you hold in your heart and what you really want to achieve, it's sort of the alignment takes care of itself. You start really getting energized to do what it is that turns you on, you know, and it brings meaning to your life. You get out of bed with a sense of purpose, and that's adds meaning to your life. Is the best thing you can do. It's a real game changer.
So the feeling space is is that what you've said? Is it like working out the difference in the feelings? Does that make a difference?
Well, it's understanding. The best thing you can do is whenever you're feeling an emotion, especially if it's one that you wish wasn't there, for example, sadness or jealousy or anger. Sometimes we wish them away. Oh, we don't want to experience them, but it's the opposite. Instead of wishing them away, it's like understanding what it is. So first you put a name to it. I'm feeling fear at the moment. Why? Welcome in, and you welcome that feeling. So you own it. You go, this is me sending myself a message. So you welcome the feeling in and you try and understand it. In a moment of meditation or just with your eyes closed, you can ask that emotion, what are you trying to tell me? What are you here for? What's your message? And if you can just relax and allow it to be there, it's quite strange, but all of a sudden you start getting and understanding why it's there. And then you start seeing what it's trying to tell you. It's not trying to control your life, it's just giving you a message. When you listen, the feeling disappears and leaves you with an understanding. Now I understand why it's there. And all of a sudden you start understanding what I need to do so it doesn't keep reminding me that I'm doing something like that. And it starts helping you to take control of your life, to get that alignment I was talking about before. And alignment really is just when we understand what our values are and what our purpose in life is, it's getting an alignment between those two so that our values point us towards what we ultimately want to achieve. And that's all the alignment is. It just means you're going in one direction, everything, all your energy supports you to get to where you want to go. And no longer are you shedding energy left, right and centre in areas that are not going to come back and support you, you know. So the alignment and knowing myself and feeling your feelings, they're all very important, so important.
And so what would your best advice be for our viewers?
Yeah, look, I've got 3 tips for people who are wondering now after listening to what we've been talking about. And that would be, 3 questions you can ask yourself. What am I here for? What am I really here for on this planet? You know, we each bring something unique. And do you understand what it is about you that is different or special? What is it about you that the world hasn't seen yet? Or maybe even yourself that you haven't really expressed. You know there's more to you, but you don't know what it is. That's question 1. Question 2 would be, what are you most passionate about? Start writing them down. What is it that lights you up? It can be as simple as fun, it can be love, it can be connection, whatever. Just start writing down. Every time you notice something that you really love and you used to love when you were a child, start writing them down and understanding why they're there and include them back in your life. Quite often we put those things to one side. And the third one would be, figure out how to apply both these things in your life. Just be more consciously aware of them and ask myself at the end of every day, what am I proud of that I did today and what made me smile? And you go to sleep with that. So when you wake up in the morning, you've got an intention to set. It's like, I'm going to do more of that today. and they're the 3 things.
Thanks so much, Steve, for that.
Welcome, Linda.
And for more information on knowing yourself and Steve Hall, then please go to his webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And for now, we'll say goodbye until next week. If you'd like to know more about our show, please like our Facebook page and also subscribe to our YouTube channel.